You're listening to the Better Relationships After Baby podcast, where I believe your relationship can be stronger than ever after having a baby. It just takes tools, conversation, and support to help you get there. I'm Chelsea Skaggs, certified life and relationship coach, mom of two, and survivor and thriver of tough relationship challenges after babies. I'm committed to helping couples just like you improve your communication skills, connection points, and personal confidence so that you can have the life and family you've always dreamt of. Now, let's get to today's episode. Welcome, those of you who are joining from YouTube, TikTok, the places that we are live streaming today. This is the Better Relationships After Baby podcast. My name is Chelsea Skaggs. I'm a life and relationship coach, and my drive, my goal, my desire is to make the world a better place, starting in the home, starting with the relationship that you have with yourself, with your partner, with your kids, with your immediate community. And I think this is the way that we make change in the world. Many of us are fired up about making change. Many of us are fired up about the world that we're living in right now. And I want to give you a safe place to take some things in, to learn, to grow so that you can be who you want to be. Outside of the home, but so much of that starts inside the home. So if you're joining this live stream, hello, welcome. I have just started to live stream recording my podcast, and it's been really fun, really exciting. If you don't get to stick around for the whole live stream, again, this is the Better Relationships After Baby podcast. You can find that on Spotify. You can find it on Apple. But today we're going to be talking about how we create support and connection inside of our own homes so that we can go out and be the people we want to be, have the impact we want to have, do the kind of advocacy and passion-filled work we want to do. But I am coming to you today, this week, knowing that there are a lot of mixed emotions people are feeling this week. We are 1 week out from the election here in the US. I've talked to people who are feeling hope, people that are feeling frustration, and a lot of people who have this drive to make a difference. And it's really natural to wonder how we can contribute meaningfully to the world, especially if that feels out of reach. Those of you who are joining us live, I encourage you to put questions or like reflections in here. I think that's going to make a really cool part of the podcast as well. But today I want to talk to you about starting the change at home to foster a connected and supportive environment. And the reality is that the quality of our relationships and the examples around us truly shape our family's norms, our family's values. And maybe up until this point, you have been really intentional. Hey, thanks for joining from China. Maybe you've been really intentional about the relationships and the values and the examples that are in your life up until this point. Maybe you haven't. Maybe there's a lot of room for you to be more intentional and more in tune with where you're getting input and where you are getting relationships and closeness and the kind of values you want in your home, especially if you're a parent. If you're a parent, you're probably thinking a lot over the last week about what kinds of things become the norm in your home and in your family. And I truly believe that these personal foundations are what empower us to be better advocates and be better contributors to our society without burning out. And I am very passionate about that because I started my career in the advocacy world. Some of you will maybe relate. Maybe you've been a part of similar organizations as me, but straight out of college, I worked in behavioral health care in a residential unit for children who are 6 to 12 years old. This was a really, really big piece of how I see the world. And following that, I joined an organization called Teach for America, where we were placed in schools that were in failing districts. They did not have the resources, the staff, what they needed. And I loved that work. But what I found was that I got burnt out and I gave so much of myself to the advocacy that I did not have the energy to sustain it. I had not built in supports in my own home and in my friendships that were going to be the energy where I came to recharge. And so I really want to speak to those people who are thinking like, what do I do to make the world a better place? And I want to encourage you to start with your relationship with your partner, and your home in general. And today I want to give you some ways to do that and just why this is so powerful. I contribute a lot of my relationship strength to some of the friendships that I have had and the ability to have real, raw conversations with other couples and other friends about relationships. Early on, my husband and I had friends that we did an actual like book study with, and came to find out that I operated a lot like the husband in this situation, and my partner, my husband, operated a lot like the wife in this situation. And in doing that and having that close relationship really intentionally, we were able to understand one another much better and learned how to communicate with each other much better. Right now, I have a group of friends that I stay pretty connected to on a daily basis, and we have the hard conversations. We have the deep dives with each other, and seeing some of the frustrations that I have with my husband or that we face in our home, seeing that in others, seeing that in friends that I love so dearly helps me to get new perspective and work through that. And I have come to find out that no amount of money can buy the value and wealth that you get from good relationships, from that good, solid relationship with your partner that is full of good communication, open communication, honest communication, and being on the same team. Even when not everything you think, do, or say is exactly the same. I don't think you need to be exactly the same person as your partner, but there are a few indicators that I see as a life and relationship coach for people that continue to grow together versus people who grow apart. And people who grow together know their values. They have a strong foundational understanding of who they are as individuals and as a couple, and they have community around them that's going to support their growth. And this is what I want to help you to have, especially if you're someone who wants to get into using your voice more often and, making the world a better place. Research shows that a connected family is a more resilient family. For example, there's a study by the APA, the American Psychological Association, that notes that families with open communication and strong connections handle stress more effectively, and they recover from setbacks more quickly. This is a huge part of my coaching, is that I do not try to get my couples to a place where they never have conflict. I don't think the absence of conflict means a healthy relationship, but the repair and the ability to have hard conversations and to have conflict in a respectful way and a way that is based around resolution and growth together is absolutely huge and absolutely imperative. In other words, having a home that feels safe, supportive, and connected is essential for emotional health and resilience. And if you're someone looking to make the world a better place, emotional health and resilience are going to be such an important part of that. So, a couple of practical tips for connection. One is weekly family check ins. And I actually encourage my clients to do this in two different ways. One, I have my clients have a kind of a business meeting. This means we're looking at what's coming up this week. We're dividing the tasks. We are getting on the same page about expectations. It's kind of like what you would have with a coworker. It is, here are the things that need done. Here are the steps to do that. Here is what it looks like for that to be satisfactory. These business meetings that couples can have are revolutionary. They change the game because you're getting so much out of your head and into a place where you can work through it with your partner. Now, I also encourage you to have a family check in that is a little more of an emotional connection, an emotional outreach. You want to make it common that your family has open, honest conversations. This might be a touch point to just reconnect. This might be a time to talk about any brewing concerns, to share positive moments, to let one another know when you have felt really loved or supported, so that you can let your partner, your family know that that is something you need more of. This can also just be a great thing to start integrating when you have young kids, so that they know their voice matters. You're bringing that into perspective, and they are used to sharing their emotions and their experience. Now, building this intention sometimes does take outside support. I mean, I'm telling you, this is something I teach my couples that I work with, and coaching is a way to develop these practices, provide some structure, and give you a way to kind of check in on what is and isn't working, so that you can get to a place that you're really feeling good about the progress together. Now, relationships that you hold are very highly influential in shaping your values, your beliefs, your behaviors. And this is true for our kids. I hear so many people talk about how they want to raise their kids, but a key part of raising your kids is setting those norms yourself and in your relationship. Okay, there's a ton of research about this. I'm just going to give you one piece, but Harvard's Center on the Developing Child lets us know, it informs us that children absorb and mimic behaviors from the adults around them, especially in terms of social and emotional skills. And so, if you want your kids to be able to have good conversation, use their voice in a productive way, have good communication with you and with their peers and with their future partner, it's so important that you focus first and foremost on having this be true and real in your home. Children, teens, even adults take cues from the behaviors, the communication styles, the problem solving approaches that they see around them. And so, if you want to influence change, one of the most important things you can do is create positive examples in your home, in your relationship, that reinforce empathy, conflict resolution, respect, being able to hold different opinions or different ways of seeing the world in a way that is respectful, kind, and responsive. So we know that our children benefit not just from us, but from having a web of support, which includes, extended family, family friends, other role models who reflect similar values. And as adults, we benefit from that too. As adults, it is equally beneficial to be mindful of the friendships we hold and make sure that they reflect our values. One of the ways you can make the world a better place is caring for yourself and engaging with other couples and families who model the kind of dynamics that you want to see in the world, so that you can be the person you want to be, so that your relationship can be the model of a relationship that you want, so that your kids can carry that on. Now, when I talk on this, one thing I realize is that a lot of people aren't very clear about their values and their partner's values. And I don't say this in a shameful way at all. We change so much. And maybe it has been years since someone checked in with you or since you had an honest conversation about your values, about what makes life worth living, about what makes it worth raising a child in this world, about what is the foundational beliefs and values that you make decisions on that help guide whether you say yes or no to something, that help guide where you spend your time, your money, your resources. And so, for those who aren't super clear about their values, it's okay. This is something I do with my clients often. We start with figuring out those values and getting really clear about the shared values of a couple and a family and the individual values, because again, the reality is that you don't couple up with someone that is exactly the same as you. That is impossible, and that would not be healthy or fun. But you learn how to have overlapping values and use those to grow alongside your family. We want your home, right, to be a safe landing pad. I'm speaking specifically to those of you who are thinking, how do I use my skills and use my passion to make the world a better place? We have to have a safe landing pad in our homes. So, families who feel secure at home are better able to engage in community and advocacy work. The National Institute of Mental Health has done research on this. So, in their 2022 research, it shows that people with a supportive family base are more likely to engage in social or civic action, and they are less likely to experience burnout. Okay. We need your passion. We need your energy. And in order to do that and be that, you have to have that safe landing pad at home. A couple of ways that I help my clients do this. First, it's just creating that recharge space at home. So, this is scheduling in some routines or family rituals that encourage rest. And this goes along with knowing your values. Set some regular times for family activities that allow everyone to unwind together, creating a balanced life where advocacy work doesn't lead to burnout. Okay. I've seen a lot of people in my life burn out. I mentioned at the beginning of this that I have been a part of nonprofits and advocacy work for many years of my career, and I've seen a lot of people burn out. I have personally experienced burnout, and I have seen firsthand the importance of having that safe landing pad at home in order. Someone said this to me recently, and I wish I could remember where it was. Oh, I was at an event, a women's event here in Columbus, Ohio, and someone said, in order to dream, you have to sleep. You have to rest. You have to have rest in order to dream. And that is so true. You cannot burn yourself on both ends and be effective. And this is where your home creates a safe landing pad. It is through having that honesty and openness and safety with your person, with your people, with your partner, and modeling that for your family. So have some routines, have some rituals. Maybe it's a certain amount of time on the weekends or a certain evening that you block off activities so that you can rest together, and incorporate some of those grounding activities. So this might mean regularly unplugging together. Our family has screen-free Sundays, which sometimes our kids hate. My kids are 6 and 8. Sometimes they hate that. But the reality is that we need that unplug time together, family dinners, walks, games, normalizing rest and mental breaks. Our generation, I'm a millennial. Our generation has been brought up on a lot of go, go, go hustle culture. And I think our kids are getting it too. And the way that we undo that is we say we have a family value of rest, of restoration, of having these connections that are really personal. And if finding time to recharge feels challenging, well, guess what? You're like a lot of my clients. Coaching can help families. I can help your family establish routines and boundaries that support your renewal, your balance for everyone. Again, starting with your values. and then getting into how you want your home to feel, what you want that to be for your family, what you want that to be for other people. If you don't get intentional about these things, you go on autopilot and you accept whatever just happens. But you have the opportunity to be intentional about these things. And a huge part of this is surrounding your family with positive relationship models outside the home as well. So, having that network of positive influences, it speaks to what your norms are. You become what is normalized for you and your family. And so if you want to uplevel your family and the way you're connected and the way you do advocacy work and you live out of your passions and your values, you want to surround yourself with people who are willing to have these conversations and they're doing the work inside themselves. A 2022 study in the Social Development Journal found that children and adults who had multiple healthy relationship examples became more resilient and adaptable in their own relationship. So, yes, the work you do in your relationship with your partner matters. Of course, it does. And also, the relationships around you that become your norm, that become what you see as acceptable and normal, are so important. So, if this is an area you need to expand in your life, think about the people around you. Get bold, ask, make friends, make it awkward sometimes. It's worth it to get awkward and find your people. Okay. Families can seek connections with people who embody your same values. For example, maybe it's empathy and respect and personal growth. So, this might mean having deeper conversations with people, really finding who those people are that emulate the kind of conversation, the kind of connection, the kind of family life that you want to emulate. And if you feel like your family could benefit from those positive external influences, but you're not sure where to start. Maybe it feels really difficult to start a conversation with another mom on the playground, or maybe you're not quite sure how to put things out there. Maybe you're not quite sure what is most important to you in your family values. I can help you. Okay. Coaching is a process of identifying and cultivating these things so that you can move closer to your goals. A resilient family is so important right now. Okay. It is the supportive, value driven relationships in your home and in your immediate community are the foundation that you have to impact change in the world. So, strengthening these relationships is not just beneficial to you. It's not just beneficial to your immediate family. It's empowering for the community engagement and advocacy that you want to do and that our world needs. So, as we leave this conversation today, whether you're joining me live or on the podcast recording, I want you to think of one action you can take to strengthen your family connections and add those positive relationship examples in your life. Maybe it is creating time in your home where you intentionally connect and have more open conversations. Maybe it is getting better at communicating with your partner so that you feel safer in your own relationship and you're modeling that for your kids. Maybe it is doing some work around figuring out your most important values that you and your partner share that becomes the foundation of the relationships you choose to hold. Maybe it is reaching out and deepening some relationships you already have so that you expand that net of connection and safety for your own family. Think of that one next step you can take, and then you just continue doing that from there. And if you're not quite sure where to start, or you know where you want to start, but you want some support, you want that to go more quickly or with less miscommunication, with more ease, I invite you to talk to me about going deeper and exploring coaching as a way to enhance your family foundation and do that for yourself. Do that for your relationship. Do that for what it means for your kids and the way that you give back to your community. Coaching can be an incredible resource to help families align their relationships with their values, with their aspirations. And the good thing is, it leaves you in a place where I get to help you have those conversations. I get to hold the space to have those conversations and make it something that is a powerful connection for you together. So, thank you for joining another episode of the Better Relationships After Baby podcast. Again, my name is Chelsea Skaggs. I am here to help make the world a better place, starting in our own homes, starting in our own relationships. And I believe in your power to do that. If you enjoyed this episode, I would be so grateful if you take a minute to help spread the word. As a small business owner, shares and reviews go a long way. So share this episode with a friend, share it on your social media, and please leave a review if you haven't done so. This helps these messages get to more mamas, and you guys, that's how we change the world.